It all started when the Nazi Party came to power in Germany. Hitler and his supporters considered Jews to be an inferior race. The new laws forbid Jews to do business and to be public servants. Their assets became subject to confiscation. It was even prohibited for Jews to marry Germans. This was only the beginning of the final solution of the Jewish question, or in other words, full extinction of Jews in Europe. Soon World War II erupted. Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union almost simultaneously attacked Poland in September 1939. 2 years later, in June 1941, Germany, in its turn, attacked the USSR. Their troops occupied Kiev on September 19th, and almost immediately they took to solving the Jewish question. In other countries, the Nazis had restrained the Jews into special centers, either concentration camps or entire city areas known as ghettos. Human rights were simply inexistent there. A working day would last for 12 hours. Only one person out of 4 could have bed sheets. They were fed with moldy bread instead of normal food. Yet in Kiev, the Nazis decided to take a different approach and shoot the Jewish population entirely. The actions committed by Soviet diversionists were used as an excuse for the mass execution of the Jews. On September 24, 1941, several important objects and buildings exploded in downtown Kiev, the Ukrainian capital. The fire lasted several days, and the Nazis blamed the Jews. Posters were spread all over Kiev to inform that on September 29th at 8 o'clock in the morning, all the Jews had to show up in the vicinity of the Babin Yar. They were requested to bring along their valuables, money and documents. On September 29th, Derteyevska and Melnikova, now Uryalinka, streets were filled with an endless human flow of women, children, teenagers, the elderly, the people on wheelchairs, and the feeble on stretchers. People were carrying their worn-out fireboard suitcases, their patched baskets, their chests containing the most valuable belongings. None of them realized what they were going to expect. A rumor spread that they would be relocated to Palestine, the modern territory of Israel. Certainly, this was nothing but a rumor. The Jews were streamlined into the Babin Yar in groups. They were forced to get undressed and give all their belongings away. Those who refused or were too slow got beaten. According to one witness, some people instantly became insane. Some had their hair turn gray on the spot. The whole place was full of wild yells and cries. Gunshot sounds were to be heard all day long. On that day, the Babin Yar was filled with suffering. Gunshots wouldn't stop until 2 years later, as Babin Yar became a massacre site, not only for the Jews, but also for the Roma, for Soviet war prisoners, Ukrainian nationalists, resistance activists, hostages, sabotage agents, curfew breakers, and many others. Overall, from 70 to 100,000 people were killed by Nazi bullets there. Most of them, unfortunately, remain unidentified. Babin Yar Holocaust Memorial Center is engaged in research work aimed at restoring historic truth by collecting oral testimonies from the people who Holocaust survivors, the tragedy witnesses, and the righteous, the persons who helped the Holocaust victims to save their lives, discovering and analyzing dozens of thousands of documents to establish the full list of Babin Yar victims. Subsequently, it will serve as a base for a map tracing their relationships with the descendants and making them publicly available, developing educational projects and new models of teaching history, raising awareness and knowledge in the society of the Holocaust theme and destructive actions of totalitarian regimes. Yet much remains unknown, and anyone can contribute to the restoration of the historical events in Babin Yar and the Holocaust in Ukraine. Test yourself as a true historian. Join the collective research of the Red Memory Dot platform